Let's now take you back to our top story about India and New Zealand strengthening their ties further today with 6 pacts and also saying that they are relaunching negotiations for a free trade agreement. We're joined by our special guest, Sanjeev Kohli. He is former Indian High Commissioner to New Zealand. Good evening, Ambassador Kohli. What do you make of how India and New Zealand are now coming closer at a time when you have a situation where uncertainty is mounting in the world, as the New Zealand Prime Minister himself said at the Raisina dialogue today, where he delivered the keynote address, is that the world is becoming more and more protectionist and it's becoming multipolar?
Well, good evening, Gautam. Thank you for having me. India shares a very long-standing relationship of friendship with New Zealand. And I believe the delegation accompanying the Prime Minister is the largest ever Prime Minister delegation to have, gone on overseas visit with him. So the composition of delegation, the size of the delegation itself underlines the importance that Prime Minister Lakshan attaches to relationship with India. And as you rightly said, he's been, telling even before he started the visit that, in an uncertain world, in a chaotic world, India is a voice which is respected across the spectrum. India is a voice which can bring countries together. India has now the ability and the will to contribute to global affairs. So, he's looking to give a new dimension, a new momentum to the relationship. And from whatever we have seen so far, the agreements that have been signed, his discussions, wide-ranging discussions with our Prime Minister, they all show a deep desire on New Zealand's part. And we are reciprocating that. As I said, it's an important relationship. And when visits take place at that level, it's an opportunity for both countries to review the entire range of relationship, look at areas where more effort needs to be put in, and also to see which are the areas we could diversify our relationship into. So whatever we've seen so far, as I said, it's been a good visit. The chemistry looks great.
Right. Okay, Ambassador Kohli, the Prime Minister Lakshan also said that the potential is that for trade, especially New Zealand's exports to India, to double in the next 10 years. Now, just tell us, why has this FTA not happened earlier? It's a restart that's been announced today of the negotiations, and what makes it more certain that this time around things will be different?
I think first we have to acknowledge that there's a significant amount of potential which remains unrealized, especially in the field of trade and investment. I think in the previous round of discussions, New Zealand was aiming to get the best possible deal. And as they say, sometimes, when you pursue the best, you lose sight of the good. So I think New Zealand has now realized that, that we should probably have something which is workable and then make incremental gains, rather than, chasing something which could take a lot of time. And FTA, by its very nature, are complex, time-consuming negotiations. At the same time, I think there's also a realization that, while the FTA remains a work in progress, there are other ways to expand your relationship, more business contacts, more information sharing about opportunities in each other's country. So I think Prime Minister Lakshan has a business background. He's not a traditional politician. So I think we'll see that New Zealand would be more pragmatic, would be more purposeful this time as far as negotiations are concerned, and show sensitivity to some of our concerns. And, our main focus is on services, and New Zealand has said that they would be very accommodative. We are looking at mobility of our skilled people to, fill the skill gaps which exist in New Zealand, and, other areas of services. So it will be both goods and services. So I'm very sure that, given the totality of relations, we would be making headway this time with a more pragmatic and a more focused approach.
Well, let's hope that happens for mutual benefit. And as far as this defense pact is concerned, how critical do you think this is, considering the kind of location that New Zealand has, and for each other really, because it is the Indian Ocean that it lies in the middle, in the vastness, and this is a crucial region, the part of the Indo-Pacific region, where the world's trade really hinges.
Well, you're right. Both India and New Zealand have great interest. Both are major stakeholders and great interest in maritime security. We had defense cooperation existing earlier, but that was more in terms of, port visits, exchange of visits at the level of the chiefs of defense forces. But it was not a sustained kind of engagement. I think the agreement which has been signed today provides a framework for more sustained engagement. And the Prime Minister has also spoken in terms of exploring opportunities in the defense industry, defense manufacturing sector. New Zealand has certain niche strengths which could be useful to us in our domestic defense manufacturing, the space program. And, both countries are, they share a common interest in ensuring that Indo-Pacific area remains free, remains secure. There's a rule-based mechanism. And of course, there's a kind of also realization that, the Chinese aggressive posture, Chinese aggressive moves in the, in the, in the Indo-Pacific need to be countered. So, there'll be more sensitivity, there'll be joint initiatives. So this is one area which holds a lot of promise, and I'm very hopeful that this could emerge as one of the major outcomes of the visit.
Yes. And how do you see the fact that India and New Zealand are also looking to partner where their ties, people-to-people ties, which are already extensive, are concerned? There will be migration on the drawing board as well now, and we also have sports. We already have Rachin Ravindra, so to speak, in common as far as cricket is concerned, but there could be a lot more as well.
To begin with, our people-to-people contacts, predate our political and diplomatic relations. The first Auckland Indian Association was set up in 1920. So that's the kind of history we have of people-to-people contacts. When I left New Zealand in 2019, the strength of the Indian diaspora, which includes both Indian nationals and New Zealand citizens of Indian origin, was about 175,000. The Chinese were outnumbering us. Now our number is about 300,000, and we are the largest ethnic community. And we have had parliamentarians of Indian origin, we had a minister of Indian origin. So the people-to-people contact has been a source of great strength to the relationship. And so this mobility, the skill gaps in the New Zealand, talent system. So an orderly movement would always be good. I mean, India is with declining population all over, and New Zealand already has about 4 million people. So that recognition that the pipeline for skilled people you could rely upon, people who are hardworking, people who are sincere, would only start from India. So that's a good sign, and there's a lot of respect. That's why our community size has been increasing.
Right.
And as for sports, hockey, cricket, we've all seen New Zealand players in action in India. And Rachin, we had East Sony also, who still plays. So, and again, New Zealand is one team. Other than India, the other team you hate to see lose is New Zealand. Of course, when it's India versus New Zealand, you don't like India to win. But New Zealand is again, the humility, the kind of gentlemanship that the players bring to the sports ground is extraordinary.
Certainly. And the issue of terrorism also came up in talks today. The leaders made a mention of that. And do you feel that when it comes to India and New Zealand, there will be more inclination to tackle it in a substantial way? Because we've seen in the case of other foreign countries, we've had issues with Canada, and even with the UK, the issue has been raised time and again, but the desired action has not really moved forward.
I think number one, the kind of problems or the kind of anti-India elements, the magnitude is much smaller in New Zealand. It's not a big country, and New Zealand has shown sensitivity to our concerns. That's what all good friendship is about. So I'm very sure that in the overall interest of our relationship, New Zealand would take our concerns on board and would take appropriate action. There's no doubt about that.
All right. Well, let's hope that things move very, very quickly as far as improvement of ties in these dimensions. And of course, when it comes to trade and investment are concerned, apart from building on that partnership where ensuring the rule of law prevails in every part of the world, not just the Indian Ocean and Indo-Pacific, the wider Indo-Pacific region. Thanks a lot for joining us for the moment.
Thank you so much. Thanks.